Interest rates remain far above where they were a year ago, and you've been thinking about all the stories you heard last fall about a market cool down. You wanted to sell your home this spring, but now you're just not so sure that the timing is right. Well, think again. Today's video, we're going to break down why this spring could be the absolute best time for you to maximize profits and get your home sold. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is Central Maine's realtor Nick Isgro with eXp Realty, and in today's video I just want to go through what is actually happening not only nationally but right here in the local market. We're going to take a look at inventory numbers and what that is doing, how that's playing out and continuing along this seller's market. In fact, potentially making it far more competitive than it was even some time ago. Now, before I get into that, I do want to welcome you here to the channel. If you've never been here before, we cover all things real estate here in the state of Maine, but particularly right here in the Central Maine market. Now, if that's of interest to you or adds value to your process in the buying or selling of homes, do me a favor, go ahead and like this video. Hit subscribe, knock that little alarm bell. You'll be notified every time we put out new content. Let's start right at the beginning with the fundamental law of the marketplace, which is supply and demand. Of course, this is always going to be the fundamental factor in determining whether or not it's a great time to buy or if it's a great time to sell or whether there's some kind of equilibrium in the market. Now, as you know, for the last several years, what we've seen is really an unbalanced market, certainly in the seller's favor, and that's because simply there haven't been nearly enough homes on the market to satisfy the demand that's in the marketplace. Now, what we saw over the last year was last late summer into the fall and early winter months, as interest rates started to go up, inflation was kicking in, and we saw kind of what you would expect during a market like that, which is buyers saying, hey, wait a minute, maybe this isn't the right time, let's cool it off, let's see what happens. Or they just weren't finding, because of the inventory, the kind of homes they were looking for, and saying, you know what, let's wait until the spring market, because everybody knows in the spring we have a flood of homes to the market. It's the hottest selling season of the year, typically where you can maximize your profits in May and the month of June. But what's happening now? What are we seeing as we're now pretty much done the month of April, where we expect this big flood of inventory? Are we seeing that flood of inventory we would expect to really bolster us and get us into this hot and heavy spring market where buyers can come out and find the homes they've been looking for and satisfy all that pent-up demand? No, that's actually not happening at all right now. In fact, we are seeing year-over-year decreases in the amount of new homes that are coming to market. Last month, right here in Kennebec County, for example, here in Central Maine, there were 34% fewer new listings that came to market than the year before. Remember, the year before we were already squeezed. If you remember what was going on back in the spring of 2022, it was crazy. There was multiple offers on a lot of homes. Things were going for over asking price. A lot of that cooled off. What are we seeing now here in Kennebec County? Well, we're seeing open houses making a comeback. Lots of people showing up to the open houses. We're seeing offer deadlines, again, making a comeback. That was something that went away by and large on a lot of homes over the last 6 to 7 months. We're seeing offer deadlines put back into the place. That's where they say, we're going to show the house for several days, and by Tuesday at 8 o'clock in the evening, all offers are due. We'll get you an answer by Wednesday. That's really only something that can happen in a very unique market like we're seeing right now with these squeezed inventory numbers. So I just want to make sense of this. I'm going to bring up a graph now. If you are a visual learner like me, you like to see what is the actual impact. What does it mean when the inventory gets squeezed? What does that do to me as a seller selling my home? And we're going to take a look at this graph. It's going to show the average number of offers on homes that were sold and closed over the last several years. Let's take a look at this. When you take a look at this graph, realize that one offer only is that baseline. So if we go over the last couple of years, you can see going into last year, look, there was an average of 5, 6 offers in some of these cases. You see those high spikes, and you can see how over the last 7 to 8 months, you see this decline in the average number of offers that were made on the average listing that's getting sold. Look what's happening over the last couple of months. We're rising back up with this data leaves off. In February, an average of 2.5 offers on homes. I can tell you the market has gotten much more competitive since this graph was made. Buyers are out in full force right now. It's a spring market. This is what they've waited for. They waited through the holidays. They didn't want to tiptoe out into that early, spring, late winter market. So now they're showing up to the market there's just not a lot of new homes hitting the market. So if you're thinking about selling right now, there's a really good chance, if it is marketed right, if you plan out the timelines right, if you do the prep work right, you're going to be able to attract multiple offers on your home, which obviously is going to have an impact on the price. It's going to allow you to get really the highest price available in any given price range, assuming that all of these steps are right. Now, there is one little caveat here, and I do want to put this out there, and that is that all real estate is local. So I am talking to you specifically, yes, about kind of what's nationally trending, but really what's going on here in Kennebec County, here in the Central Maine market, kind of the hottest area of Central Maine. So just to bring this home right back here to Kennebec County here in Central Maine, I did a little bit of number digging right before I did this video, and I wanted to just see where are the current inventory numbers. So a year ago, March 2022, for example, we had 126 active listings. And at the time, that was only less than 1/2 a month of inventory. Remember, 6 months of inventory, 6 months of supply in the market is what gets you equilibrium between buyers and sellers. And remember how competitive last spring was with the multiple offer scenarios, with this shortage of inventory. Over the winter, as we saw things loosening up a little bit, still a seller's market, but making a lot of headway for buyers, we were looking at the number of active listings in the 200s, some months in the 300s. Where are we now? Here in Kennebec County as of this morning, if I pull up residential listings, 126 active listings, exactly where it was March of 2022. If I sort that down and filter it to single family houses, 98, and that's 98 single family homes active in the entire county. So this gives you a really good idea of what is happening right here in the local market. The market has definitely been squeezed. We saw kind of what happened through the winter. Now activity has been picking up. The buyers are there, the houses are not. And in fact, if you go to a lot of markets right now, whether it's Oakland, Belgrade, Sydney, Rome, Augusta, and you start really filtering down, because remember, all of the buyers that are out there are not looking in every price category and every, specific kind of house. They're looking for, maybe a 3-bed, 2-bath between 200 and 300,000. Some towns have 0 listings in that specific criteria. So when you start niching down for specific buyer categories, there may be, 100 listings out there, but there may be like 5 in the whole county that actually fit their criteria. In fact, I have that right now. I have some buyers right now. There's 4 listings in the criteria that they're looking for. And it's really, we're lucky if 1 or 2 a week new come onto the market. So that's where we're at. So that's it for today's video. I realize it's a quicker than normal video, but a lot of people have been asking about this. There's a lot of conversation going on right now, specifically because the market's always changing. And so as much as we can try to predict the future, we really have to live in what's going on now. And if this is the right time for you to sell your home, because remember, I always say, you should never feel pressure either way to make one of these big decisions. It's really about when it's the right time for you, then that's the time to make your move. But in this case, if it is the right time, but you've been getting a little worried, you heard about the slowdown last fall and the winter, you're worried about maybe the elevated interest rates that you're seeing, I can tell you right now here in Central Maine, the buyers are there, the market is there. It is just an incredible time to get your home listed right now, because who knows what's going to happen over the coming months. Maybe the inventory does come, which I would actually love to see for a lot of the buyers that are out there. But right now is a very unique opportunity to get your home listed and to get your home sold. Of course, I always want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts? What are your predictions? What do you think is going to happen? Are we going to get more listings as we head into the summer months? Is it going to slow down a little bit? Are buyers going to back away? Or what's going to happen with interest rates? Drop all of those predictions, your comments in the comment section below. Love to hear from you there. Of course, if you're just stepping into the market, or maybe you're thinking about getting into it, you want a real estate professional to just run through the numbers with you, get some professional advice, all of my contact information is linked in the post below. Would love to hear from you. I promise if I miss you for some reason, I will get right back to you and we will definitely connect. Of course, as always, I thank each and every one of you for sticking around to the end of this video. And until the next one, I'll see you next time.